So I'm making $25,000 every single month, working with just a couple of clients, maybe at most working 4 hours a day. And I'm about to show you the only online business model that actually works in 2025. Whilst everyone else is fighting over scraps in drop shipping, affiliate marketing, low ticket digital products, growth operating, I want to show you what actually works. And I want to show you how you can make $10,000 every single month with just one single client with this business model. So let me guess. Right now, you've probably tried everything and you're still nowhere near to making even 5K per month. And here's why 99% of online businesses fail, right? Let me tell you. Drop shipping, dead. Everyone's doing it right now. Margins are completely destroyed in that space. Really, like if you're trying to get into drop shipping right now, you're better off in building an actual e-commerce brand rather than trying to drop ship products from China. Affiliate marketing, oversaturated. That's all I can say there. Course creation, right? It requires a massive audience. Amazon FBA requires huge capital, inventory risk, right? In my honest opinion, every opportunity out there online is either oversaturated or requires skills that you might not have. So what happens is you're fighting in red oceans with millions of competitors. You're selling to consumers that have no money. You need years to maybe build an audience or brand. Whilst everyone out there is trying to make $100 a day, selling trinkets, real businesses right now, real B2B companies are spending a dime on client acquisition, right? So let me actually get into the actual business model that I run and show you how you can make $10,000 every single month with one single client, right? So here's what changed everything for me, right? I stopped trying to create demand, right? I stopped trying to create demand. I stopped trying to sell stuff that people don't really need. And instead, I started serving existing demand, right? So what I mean by this is I became a middleman in transactions that were already happening every single day, where money was flowing to every single day. And I simply positioned myself to be the middleman between those transactions. So this is the business I'm running right now. An AI, sorry for my handwriting, B2B middleman business, right? I'm not writing fast enough, but you get the point. AI B2B middleman business. Now, if you want to get extremely, extremely rich, you need to learn how to become a middleman in anything, right? Where you can take a percentage of every transaction that happens in the business space. And the way I do it is by selling sales appointments and also taking commissions from every deal closed from my clients, right? And I'm leveraging an AI system that does 90% of the work for me. And that's why I'm able to get away with working maybe 2, at most, again, 4 hours every single day on this business, right? So the way it works, to give you like a roadmap on how you can go about making $10,000 every single month with just one single client, right? I'm not here telling you you need 20 clients, 30, 40, 50 clients. You just need one good client that you can work with, and you can become the middleman between them and their ideal clients, and then take a percentage of every single transaction that happens. So how do we do this, right? Well, let's break down the math first, right? So it makes sense to you. How do I make this bigger? Okay, cool. Let's make it orange. Orange has been my favorite color recently. So let's say there's a B2B company right now, right? This B2B company needs to sell high ticket services or products, right? And what we mean by high ticket is if they're charging a monthly retainer, they need to be selling at least a $2,000 a month retainer and above, right? For this to make sense for them to work with you, right? Or they need to sell like products for $5,000 up to $10,000 in one single payment, right? And in the B2B space, this is the low end stuff, guys, right? This is the low end stuff, right? 10K is like a small product, right? Considered in the B2B space, that's a small project, that's a small product to sell. $2,000 retainer, that's a small retainer to sell, right? So this is the literally the worst case scenario, right? I work with clients that are selling packages up to $100,000, right? $100,000. And that's considered big in the B2B space. So what I did is I simply position myself, right? I am the guy that brings opportunities to my clients so they can close their $100,000 deals. So the way the pricing strategy or the way the business model works really is, let's say you find a B2B company, a high ticket B2B company doing 6, 7, 8 figures annually, right? Now, you only work with them if they sell a high ticket recurring service or a high ticket product, right? Minimum $5,000, $10,000. So most B2B companies, and I've done hours and hours of market research on this. I spoke to over 500 companies in the past year alone. Most of them struggle with client acquisition, right? 90% of companies struggle with client acquisition. And you'd be surprised, even the 8-figure companies are struggling with client acquisition, right? Now, what client acquisition simply is reaching out to a prospect, gaining interest from that prospect, and booking them into a sales call with the company where the company can close them for their recurring or product packages. This is what client acquisition is. And you, as the AI B2B middleman, basically is responsible for optimizing every single step of this funnel in order to get this B2B company as many opportunities as possible. The more opportunities they get, the more of a chance they have to basically close and grow their company even further. So, back to my point, a lot of B2B companies currently struggle with client acquisition. And the reason why they struggle is they just rely on outdated frameworks, right? Or they're too slow to basically catch up with everything that's going on in the AI space. AI right now, if used properly, can be a huge, huge opportunity, especially if you position yourself in the right way. However, these B2B companies, like if you think about it, what do they currently do when it comes to client acquisition? Right? They probably build out sales teams, SDR teams, those salespeople. They do cold calling. They manually send emails. They manually send LinkedIn messages, right? And at most, maybe they'll book one single appointment per day. Now, in the United States, the average salary for one SDR is between $4,000, $5,000 every single month. On top of that, they're paid out commissions, right? So what ends up happening for a small, mid-sized B2B company is that they're probably spending $30,000 up to $40,000 every single month on ineffective client acquisition. So if we take that $40,000 cost on a monthly basis, and if we look at the amount of appointments that are being booked, and by the way, 70% of SDRs miss their quota, right? And this is a research, it's available in my research. If you want this research, let me know. I'll send that over to you, right? You can just DM me on Instagram. But essentially, 70% of those SDRs miss that quota, right? And what ends up happening is that the company is looking at their cost, is probably paying anywhere from $800 to $1,000 per appointment easy, right? With their sales team cost, right? $800 to $1,000 per appointment. So what I do, right, is I understand that. I understand the B2B space probably more than anyone right now. I go in, I present my offer, right, where I tell them, right, listen, I can sell you appointments with your ideal clients for literally $200, maybe up to $500, depending on their deal size, right? If they're selling $10,000, $100,000 projects, then my cost per appointment will be higher, around $500, $600. If they're selling a bit of a lower end retainer or package, then I'm gonna sell them appointments for $200, but minimum $200. So I come in. Right? I know they have this problem, ineffective client acquisition that's expensive. And I come in and I tell them, listen, I'll implement my AI acquisition system and I'll book you sales appointments for your account executives for $200 a pop, right? Obviously, this is a non-brainer for them because they only pay per appointment, right? And this is good for me because as the company scales and as they want more appointments, I'm not tied to a retainer, right? I can increase the amount of prospects I'm reaching out to on their behalf, and therefore increase the amount of appointments I'm booking, and therefore make more money for myself, right? And the B2B company is happy because they're getting more opportunities themselves. So $200 per appointment, right? Now, let's say if you want to make $10,000 every single month, we need to book 50 appointments per month for that client, right? Now, with my AI system, right, the way I set it up, I'm sending a minimum of 30,000 up to 100,000 cold emails every single month, right? And on top of that, I have other systems on LinkedIn. If my clients' prospects are on Instagram, Facebook, then I have a system for that as well, completely automated, doesn't require my input at all. So imagine this, right? You're doing all of this volume for your client, and your target to make 10K per month from that one single client is 50 appointments, right? The only thing standing between you right now with $0 in your bank account to being able to make 10K per month is 50 appointments for one single B2B company, right? And if you learn, right, how AI prospecting works, right, and if you're able to set up a system that doesn't break at scale, that is able to send all this high volume stuff, and where you can basically take your client's offer and position it into the system, position it or place it into the system, right, you're able to book 50 appointments per month easy, right? So essentially, this is how, right, one single client you're able to make 10K per month from one single client. Now, how do you actually get that one client? You do the same thing. You figure out how you can build this AI prospecting system for yourself. I'm not gonna write the full thing because I'm slow at writing with my trackpad. You figure out how to build this AI prospecting system yourself, right? Whether it's cold emails, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, right? You start testing different offers, right? Then this is exactly what I did at the start. I tested a bunch of different offers, right? And since I'm doing high volume, I'm able to get data back on what works and what doesn't. And I'm able to scale an offer that is actually getting me responses and appointments booked into my calendar, right? And once they come onto the appointment, I don't even have to try hard to sell this stuff, right? Because this is a performance based partnership. And if I'm confident in my AI prospecting system, I really don't mind taking a small setup fee and then just work on a performance basis because, right, my AI system does 90% of the work for me, right? It's not like I'm going to be sitting down and just reaching out to people by myself. My AI system does all the work for me. So I don't mind taking a small setup fee and then charging per appointment depending on my client's deal size. So once I have this offer that I've tested, again, fairly quickly, within 2 weeks, I was able to find an offer that works well, and I was able to run it for a year now without it breaking, and I'm booking appointments every single month. So I jump on a call, right? I do the basic sort of discovery, like what are you currently doing on client acquisition? 90% of the time, they will tell me something that I know just doesn't work, right? That's the reason why they're on the call with me. I present an offer, they got interested because they're currently suffering from client acquisition problem. They jump on the call, I ask them questions, I reveal that problem, bring it to the surface, and then I position my offer, basically saying like, listen, I've got this AI system, I can book appointments, and I work on a pay per appointment basis. So once we work together, you only pay me per appointment. Now, to make sure that your client is happy, you need to make sure that, they're not a small company. They're not a company with like one founder or two founders. They need to be, at least making 15, 20K per month because this is when they have proven product market fit, right? So now all they need is just more fuel to the fire, meaning more appointments for them to close more, right? So if you provide them 10 calls, right? 10 calls, they pay $200 per call. That's $2,000. Now, let's say they have an average of 20% close rate and they sell a $2,000 a month package and their lifetime value is, let's say, 6 months per client. So, looking at these numbers, 10 calls booked, you get paid out $2,000. They have a 20% close rate. Out of 10 calls, they closed two clients. They made $4,000 MRR first month. Now, if a client stays on with them for 6 months, on average, just whipping out my calculator, right? They paid you $2,000 to make back $24,000, right? When it comes to ROAS, or return on ad spend, I know it's not ads, but let's look at the ROI on this. They're making 12x, right? They're making 12x from working with you, right? And this is the reason why my clients stay for so long, right? I don't suffer a retention problem. I don't suffer churn, right? Like other business models like SMMA. I used to run a digital marketing agency, right? So I know what kind of goes on in that model. I don't suffer, right? Because I'm getting paid per performance, right? I'm putting my skin in the game with the client. The client's getting results. They're happy. I'm happy because I'm getting paid out for every single appointment. Now, if you want to take it a bit more advanced, and this is worth it if the client is selling like $100,000 project, you can also take commissions, right? And clients will have no problem giving you access to their CRM so you can track that. So you can charge per appointment and you can charge on a commission basis, meaning out of that $100,000 package that they close, you can actually also take a percentage, right? Meaning technically you're now kind of owning equity in their business, right? If you take percentages from their closes. And trust me, this is the quickest way that you can get rich, right? Never mind 10K a month. 10K a month with this business model is easy, right? If you want to make money, right? We're talking about $100,000, right? Which we are on track to right now with my own B2B middleman business, right? This is the way to go, right? Because you're directly responsible for your client's growth, meaning they can't churn. You're getting paid per performance on how well your AI system works. The AI system does all of the work, and you can also take a percentage from their closes, right? So now imagine you have one client that pays you out 10K a month, right? All you need to get to 100K per month is maybe 5, 6, 7, 10 clients, right? And you replicate the system, right? So the service delivery is very, very streamlined because each and every single client, they get the same system, right? And the system just runs. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram. I personally reply to every question out there. But if you're actually interested in how you can start this B2B middleman business, there's going to be a link below this video where you can book a one-to-one call directly with myself. And I'll basically give you a 3-step playbook that I've used to personally scale my business to a 6-figure run rate. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, right, take it, do whatever you want with this information. Compare all of your alternatives to other business models if you're just looking to start a business right now. And then if you want to talk, the link is going to be below this video. So apart from that, I'll see you guys on the next video.